Have a good day today. When I was running for mayor, I was very critical of the fact that this city had gone through 5 police chiefs in 5 years. There was a sense of instability that was contributing to a real lack of public safety, and it's not the way you run a first-class city. As you know, Chief Craig was hired under Emergency Manager Kevin Orr, and I got a lot of questions about what do you think about the fact the emergency manager hired the police chief. And I said the same thing over and over. I was going to evaluate Chief Craig the same as every other person in the organization. If he performed well, he's going to be here for a long time. And if he didn't, he wasn't. But everybody can earn their position. And that's all the chief ever wanted. I have been so pleased at what I have seen, and it's gone by so fast it's almost hard to remember. But at the time Chief Craig came in, the morale of the police officers was the worst that I had seen it. They were on forced 12-hour shifts. We had arrests down. You had any place I went, the police officers were talking about how they felt unappreciated by the city of Detroit. Citizens didn't feel a whole lot better. You might remember we were locking the precincts at 5 o'clock at night. So if citizens wanted to come in and make a complaint or talk to somebody, the precincts were closed. And you wonder why you don't get citizen cooperation. Chief Craig, in one of his first acts, opened the precincts and invited the community back in. These are steps that are extremely important in restoring the confidence. When Chief Craig started, and everybody knows I'm kind of a metrics fanatic, the response time to 911 in this city was 37 minutes. I mean, it was a national scandal. Now it's down to 16 minutes, very close to the national standard. It has been cut more than in half. These are pretty remarkable accomplishments at a time when a city was in the turmoil of bankruptcy. We're not kidding ourselves. We know how serious the crime problem is. This city is much too violent. And if you look at the statistics this year, our homicides and our shootings are up, but nearly every other category of crime continues to drop significantly. We've got a serious problem in the city with people using guns to settle beefs, and we need to attack it. And the chief and I have been in extensive conversations with U.S. Attorney Barb McQuaid and Prosecutor Kim Worthy, because if you're going to attack it, it's not the police department by itself, it's everybody together. And in the next year, you will see, in fact, not the next year, next couple of months, you're going to see serious strategies. The question is, what's the best approach? And I am confident that we have the right leader for this department. But I never do things by myself. I've consulted with every council member and asked their opinions of the job the police chief is doing. There's overwhelming support. And this is an interesting part of the process because Emergency Manager Orr made an appointment of the chief through June 30th. So his tenure would have been up at the end of next month. He also put in his final order the authority of the mayor to negotiate an extension and sign an extension of that contract. So I was vested with the power to make the decision. But I consulted with the council members. You see several of them here today. They were enormously supported. I sat down with both U.S. Attorney McQuaid and Prosecutor Worthy. They strongly endorsed the extension of Chief Craig's tenure. I talked to the police union leadership, who strongly supported it, and I talked to Police Commission Chairman Willie Bell. And in a little over 6 months, on December 15th, the emergency manager's order will expire and the police commission will assume their traditional responsibilities. And so it was critical that I know that the leadership of the police commission supported this decision. You're going to hear from Chairman Bell, but you're in a rare case where the community has come together. And so I've done a lot of contract negotiations in my time. I think this one might have been the easiest. I think it lasted about 5 minutes. So Chief and I went out to dinner, and I said, I want you to stay. He says, oh, good. I said, now, here's the thing. Given the city's financial situation, I can't give you a raise. It's got to be the same pay and the same benefits. He said, that's all right. I said, I want to do a 2-year extension, take you through June 30th of 2017. And he said that'd be great. I said, but I want to do more than that. I want to always have stability in this department. So let's have an agreement that if neither of us gives the other 12 months written notice, you roll over for another year every year. So if neither of us by next June 30th doesn't send a written notice, Chief Craig is automatically extended to June 30th, 18, and then 19, so we've always got stability. He says, that sounds great. I said, there's only one catch. I said, I really don't like these rumors about other cities trying to recruit you. So if we're going to do this, there's going to be a provision in here for me that says if you leave before your contract's up, you have to pay the city the entire balance of the contract. He says, I never heard of such a thing. He says, but I'm never going to leave, so I'll do it. So today, you have a contract. Where the chief is here, he's committed long-term, the city's committed long-term to him. He's committed long-term to us. I don't think you've got another police chief in the country who's promised to pay the city if he leaves. But he says, my family's all here, and they're here today. He says, I'll be glad to tell them. And it is my hope that if Chief Craig continues to perform in the future the way he has the last 2 years, James Craig is going to be the chief of police of the city of Detroit for many years to come. Congratulations, Chief.
Well, I'm hoping as we get started, we can finally put that Chicago rumor to bed. Anybody heard the Chicago rumor lately? I mean, even my friends in the media, they don't even ask me about it. But first, I want to give honor and thanks to God who have made this possible. But to Mayor Mike Duggan, you know, for his leadership, his confidence and support. And let me give you an example. So I had a chance to spend some time in L.A., and I was on the front seat of the L.A. riots. And clearly it's one of the most violent. We're talking about 50 people lost their lives in that civil unrest. I will tell you clearly, one of the factors was the mayor and the police chief didn't talk. Didn't get along, didn't talk. And that was a key factor. But I will tell you, we all know 3 weeks ago, we had the situation involving the agent. There was a shooting. Certainly the community was agitated by that. I had an opportunity to get out. We got out in front of it. I called the mayor, and all the mayor said is this. One, how can I help you? What do you need me to do? And finally he says, I'm here. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you for that support. And I can't say enough about the city council, certainly Council President Brenda Jones, who has certainly been a key supporter of police. Every time we're at a public event and the police are there, many of the officers know, she says, I just love the DPD. And so, Council President, thank you. Is she here yet? Oh, no. Okay. Thank you. And to President Willie Bell, certainly I appreciate our partnership and certainly your role in serving this great city. To U.S. Attorney Barbara McQuaid and the Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy, again, thank you for being a great partner and our continued effort to make this one of the safer cities in America. And to certainly my law enforcement partners, and by design, I didn't write a speech. I just want to thank everybody because this wouldn't be possible with all of the support and help, and so that's kind of my focus. But first and foremost, we talk about law enforcement partners. My partner in the federal government, Paul Abbott, I've said many times, I've worked in now my third city as police chief, and Paul has been a great ally, a great partner, certainly in reducing violence in the city, but also eradicating corruption. To the MSP, I don't know if anybody hears from the MSP, but Director Kritchi Etchu, I want to thank you. She's been a great partner from day one. Certainly we have a great effort with our major case unit in the homicide, and also her participation allowing deputies to come in and help us with eradicating violent crime. Wayne State University, Chief Hope, Chief Holt, I appreciate your leadership and certainly always your willingness to open up Wayne State to the DPD, especially when we talk about leadership training. Certainly other efforts we've made along the lines of looking at a crime lab or just a partnership. So I appreciate that. Wayne County Sheriff Benny Napoleon and all the remaining law enforcement partners, thank you. Thank you for any time we ring the bell here in Detroit, whether it's on one of our 18 large-scale operations, our law enforcement partners have always been there. Now to the city of Detroit, our neighborhoods, the people who work, who enjoy entertainment here, to our neighboring suburbs, our friends across into Canada, thank you. Simply thank you. I meet so many people, and they just say how much they appreciate the work we are doing here in Detroit, because they all love Detroit. You know, one incident comes to mind when we had the tragic shooting of Judge Berg, and I remember that Saturday morning, I called my staff, I said, we need a community meeting, and we need one fast. So, like we like to do, we spun it around. Within 48 hours, we had a meeting, and 600-plus people showed up. Some were turned away. But my takeaway from that was that this community is resilient. This community is engaged. This community is about making Detroit a safer city. And you oftentimes have heard me say that, you know, we the police can't do it alone. All experts know in our field that in order to make a city safe, it's the community's responsibility, it's their role of crime prevention. As police professionals, it's our role to facilitate and provide the necessary leadership. So Detroit, thank you. Another moment that certainly I reflect recently on is the Stalker and Samuels family, that organized effort, bringing two cities together. We estimate maybe 1,000 people at one point in that march on that Saturday saying we're fed up, we've had enough, and let's work together. That's the Detroit I know. That's the Detroit that makes me humbled and proud to be here. And then I can't say enough about our other community partners. Every single time, whether we have a serial rapist, a homicide investigation, we can call on Detroit 300, Malik Shabazz, Nation of Islam. And just let me tell you, in many cities, there is no relationship between the police and the Nation of Islam, but there's one here in Detroit. And then last, Pastor Mo of Living in Peace has been a great supporter, someone who, when we needed help, again, going back to that recent event, those three grassroots community organizations came together and said, we want peace. That's the difference between Detroit and some of the other cities, whether it's Baltimore, whether it's Ferguson. That's why Detroit's a great city. And then I want to talk briefly about our local businesses. Can't say enough. I was critical coming in the door. You know the conversations I had about the dilapidated police vehicles. You know, the ones with the peeling paint? Oh, I remember it vividly. But certainly my welcome, and it was already facilitated before I got here, but just, you know, the facilitation of 100 new vehicles. Penske, Quicken Loans, Kresge Foundation, Platinum Equity, Blue Cross, Shinola, GM Ford, and Chrysler Corporation all came together to support this city, and thank you for that. And then recently, a donation by Shinola. Shinola made the first police bikes that they've made designed specifically for the Detroit Police Department. So to Shinola, thank you once again. And then Skillman. I can't say enough about Skillman. Ardent supporter of youth and community issues. When we launched the initiative, the neighborhood police officer, it was Skillman who stepped up without hesitation. I said, look, we need pads, we need phones, because we need our officers out in the field, communicating in real time with our community. They did that. And certainly, again, Chrysler Fiat, who has recently agreed, is in process to donate several 2015 Dodge Chargers to the Detroit Police Department. And then the Public Safety Foundation, certainly under the leadership of Kathy Govan. You know, when you look back, our 150th anniversary, our new police museum that's just outside the door, the Women in Blue event, what a great assistance, what a great help it's been. So I thank you for that. I'm going to miss some folks, so please, if I do, bear with me. Oh, we talk about community.
First rule of politics. Introduce your family members.
Oh, I had something special.
Okay, all right.
The mayor gave me a directive. I was just asked, now I'm off my flow. If my family would please stand, my brothers and sisters, who really, Martin, Craig, Margaret, Craig, Janine, and Carolyn, who have been ardent supporters of me throughout my time here. So thank you for being here. Love y'all. And then we talk about now going back into community. I did recover, okay? Okay. Certainly, Leslie Andrews, who works for Rock Ventures, certainly someone who sits to my right and my left on our community advisory board. And when you talk about relationships, so important. And so I appreciate your involvement and the involvement of the board in the community. So talking about businesses, I would be remiss, a place that I have dinner often. Who can tell me where that's at? Sinbad's. Two of the owners are here in celebration, Mike and Brian. Thank you for being here. I'm trying to get this flow going. And last and certainly not least, the Detroit Police Department, sworn in civilian. What can I say? The best of the best. MPOs, SRT. Where's SRT? 12-hour standoff. I think it was 5 degrees. Never complained. We had an armed suspect suffering from mental illness. In fact, I thought I would help, probably the worst thing I could have done, and suspect began shooting at the vehicle. But the bottom line was they were there, they stayed with it, we were able to arrest and take the person into custody without incident. So thank you. Our MPOs, whatever we need them to do in terms of building bridges in our community, they do it. You know, the recent initiative of bringing out the MPO car, the neighborhood take-home car, the people in the community love it. True. You know, the city council recognized you recently, certainly for your work in getting a violent predator off the street, serial rapist. They stayed on top of it and brought some closure. And certainly I would be remiss if I didn't talk about union leadership, because believe me, as a police chief, you know one thing. The people that count are the cops on the beat. If you don't take care of the cops, you can't take care of the community. That's why I always say cops count, but leadership matters. So I'm talking about Mark Diaz, Mark Young, and Eric Toski. Thank you for your leadership and what you do. So the mayor talked about the metrics and what we've done to reach them. I won't go back through it. Certainly I'll have a chance to talk individually with some of you. But certainly command accountability. Command accountability has truly been the key here. And so in closing, I just want to thank the media. People have referred to me as Hollywood. Well, truthfully, I am from Hollywood. But that's not why this relationship is so important. The relationship is important because through you, we've been able to communicate to our community how important the work we're doing, what we're doing. And so when people approach me in the community and said, you in the department are doing a fabulous job, and they only know it because they're not shadowing me, it's because of you. So thank you. And I'm going to just touch on something that Channel 7 editorial chief or station manager then, Mike Murray, I never forget this, and I wanted to say it and hold it true. So on October 9th of last year, he came out with an editorial. But he talked about what I said over a year ago. And what I said, hold me accountable. And if I'm not doing the job I said I would do, then get rid of me. And I've stayed true to that. But what Mike said, he said the chief should stay. So I commend the mayor, the council, the police commission, who have all said the chief should stay. Thank you.